Hey, you guys, it's your girl Latanya, host of Infused Queen Tea Podcast, and we are rolling with Latanya vibes. All right, we done made it to season 4. We're in season 4, okay, and I'm still in the motherfucking bed. I'm still in the motherfucking bed, but I am back to my YouTube channel, to Apple Podcasts, like any place that you were originally listening to Latanya vibes on Infused Queen Tea podcast. You can now go back to listening. Let's connect in the listening. All right. So I'm very highly favored, thankful, grateful to finally get back to this. You guys don't know how hard I was over here fighting. Okay, y'all don't know how hard I've had to fight. You don't. But I'm here to give you guys tea. I'm here to give you guys tea. Okay? Talking with Tanya. Talking with Tanya. Talking with Tanya. All right. I like that. I was trying to figure out like what's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Cooking with Kaya got her little thing, but I need to have my own little thing. But I was like, you know what? Talking with Tanya's cute. Talking with Tanya's cute. But besides that, let's digress that, right? Welcome to season 4. If you weren't originally listening to us in the previous seasons, this is the season of consistency. And the P is for perseverance. Because, baby, the way I have persevered to podcast should be studied, okay? The way that other people can literally just order that Amazon mic and delegate time and get like listen, the way that they could get consistent is not the same way my entire journey with podcasting has been. So I decided I wanted to cater season 4 to the P is for perseverance. I know. I know. Okay. So let's get into it. The reason why I hopped on and decided to go ahead and make this episode was because there was a common theme that like I kind of seen find its way through my life the entire week. And if anybody was experiencing March Madness to the capacity that this queen has, okay, I know that feeling like your joy like is trying to be stripped or consumed was a part of your March Madness bingo card. Let's just be very much clear. Let's be honest. It was a part of your bingo card, right? And there was something that my mom, and it was crazy because, listen, my mommy, my bestie, she's still alive, right? But there's something that when I was younger that she would always sow a seed in me before I would walk out that door. And especially in the season where y'all know how, if you listen to prior messages, right? Prior podcast episodes, you would know that I was a traumatized teenager. And a lot of the trauma didn't happen at home per se. It happened in the school system. It happened in other spaces that, I was a part of. But something that my mom always instilled in me, she would always say, Tanya, and she has 5 kids, y'all. So she would give us all individual this personal message. She'd be like, Tanya, because I'm the first, don't let anybody steal your joy. And when I was little, I'd be like, girl, what you talking about? Because I have always been a like, I would say peak optimist because sometimes my optimism, hold on, what am I trying to say? Optimism does not show up like I think it does. Like you can definitely tell Latoya looks at you and I'm like, and they're like, okay, yeah, it's not that link, that neuron ain't meeting. Okay. But when I was younger, I remember when she would give me that message, it did not resonate the way that that thing hit my ass on Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning, I want to say. And basically, she always would remind me of sometimes you are literally walking and living in past prayers. And if you allow anybody to be the thief of not only like your joy, that in turn takes away the gratitude and the grace and all the basically you allow people to be leeches of that energy. This is what can happen. And so all I know is at the beginning of the week, your girl is peak optimist. Okay. I'm talking about I'm working from home for the first 2 days of the week. So I'm over here feeling like, yes, I get to we just came back from spring break. Okay, and that's a whole nother story. Y'all stay tuned to I'm gonna give my whole story about Miami, my spring break trip with my sister to Miami. And we are not like the girls where you would think it's me and her. It was the city. So no, I'm gonna definitely talk about the energy portal that happened in Miami and the trip that did not go how we planned it in the group chat and how it could have turned into sex trafficking. Okay, that's listen, we're gonna get into that story a whole other time. That's a whole separate story. This is why not allowing anybody to steal your joy is so necessary because it started from that trip. Being honest, there were certain remnants of the trip where it took I was on the phone with customer service, right? This is just a little to get the point of what I'm saying, right? I was on customer service one day and this literally lady gets on the phone and projects her day when all I needed was clarity. Even whenever I was coming to her, you know how normally you get, because I work customer service, so I do understand. I know how the people get. They literally want to literally project the issue on you and make it your issue, baby. No, I'm just here for aid. I'm just here for clarity, depending on what side you're on. I'm just here for aid or I'm just here for clarity. And this lady really fixed her lips to tell me, well, I'm having a bad day too, da 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 da. And I said, ma'am, and I had to stop her. I said, ma'am, I never told you I was having a bad day. I can understand that you were having a bad day, but that I haven't even came at you with that type of energy. I genuinely just want clarity, And that's all right. That's the tie the loose ends up of that. But in that moment, this lady was projecting something that she was feeling, and for her it was a real scenario because that's her human experience. But for me, it was like me and you are living two different human experiences right now. And just because I seem like I got a little bit more ease in my conversation right now, you don't get to project your experience on me. Because what does Tab say? All right, now don't go. You can go out there and have a good day, but if you can't have a good day, don't go messing up nobody else's. This is literally equivalent to Nicole's "Don't let nobody steal your joy." Okay, so I literally in that moment, my sister looked at me. She said, "What?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You wasn't." I said, "I know." But in that moment, I did not allow anything that happened in that trip to dictate the level of joy, the level of experience that I was going to have just being in the presence of my sister, which is why I said we did not have the tip. I think that's what we're going to title the next episode is not your typical Miami trip. So, boom. Fast forward this week, I come back and it seems like I didn't want that spring break to end because I knew what chaos would commence. Babe, when I say March Madness, it has not let up off my motherfucking neck. It has not let up off my neck. But in it, I could tell based off of the things I went through in the past, in the chaotic seasons I went through in the past. Don't judge me in my Great Value water bottle. This is a late night sip. Check, look, check. All right. Let's see what time it is. It is currently 6:43. Okay, yeah, that's that morning sip. I had to just clarify that it was a morning sip, you guys. But no, basically, I woke up one morning and this was the night. I think Monday, I had went to Barnes and Nobles. Or no, here's how I go. So Wednesday, I went to Barnes and Nobles because I had to decide to take a mental health day from work. And I'm gonna let y'all know how embarrassed I was, even though I had the PTO and the understanding and grace of my boss. I literally, it's something about admitting that you're in a weak space or I wouldn't say weak, in a vulnerable space. For me, it's just very, very tough to let other people in because in a lot of times in the past, I haven't had the space for if I am in a not so good moment, it's not okay for me to take time for myself. And when I would take time for myself, people would take that as a direct indication of how I feel about them. When I would always tell the people who finally take the time to get to understand me and get to know me that when I love people, I'm one of those people that because so many people have projected their experience on me based off of what they were going through, I refuse to be that person, which is also how like that seed that my mom sown of don't let anyone steal your joy came about. Because I'm not going to do to you what someone else did to me. And I know how that felt. I know how displaced those emotions were, and I know how much I consumed of that energy, and I took it as it was something that I needed to correct in myself, when the only correction I needed was, why are you allowing these people to do these things to you? They do not give a fuck about them consequences, queen. The consequences, the accountability is not there. So why are you trying to teach old dogs new tricks? That's not your space. You're trying to play God. You're trying to play hero complex. This is not your space, sis. Sit the fuck back, because actually you have a whole bunch. And that is something that I had to learn through all the things I've went through in life. I have always made sure that I can establish some sense of peace, some sense of ease, and some sense of joy in it, regardless of when I'm homeless, regardless of when I've been in some toxic relationships, regardless of when I've been in work environments that literally did not value me, like regardless of the times where, listen, the Black family is still healing. Even in times where I felt like like unheard by my family, all those things kind of helped me create joy in times where like joy might have felt absent. And because of that, now when I am confronted with more chaos, or now when I'm confronted with things that back then would have broke me, but now it's kind of like, been here, done that. Yeah, that's not going to stop me from what I'm doing. It really hit me. So basically, Tuesday, I was like, you know what? I want to start doing my podcast stuff. This is like the way of not letting anyone steal your joy. So Tuesday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop consuming content. It's time for me to make it. Like you did that whole photo shoot back in maybe February. It's March. You ain't said nothing. But then also, I have been always been led and called to say that I will not get up on this podcast or this anybody's app and spew bullshit just to be heard. Baby, I need to, from God's mouth, tell my ears, it need to make sense before I come on here and say something. I it got to. It ain't about the pay. It's about the impact. Okay? It's about the resilience. It's about the perseverance, both. Because chaos is going to happen. It's about how you tend to the chaos that actually dictates what we see and what we perceive and what actually, comes to fruition. So, boom. I decided I was going to get off my lazy ass because I did have this space. I was at home working. I did all my work projects. Girl, get cute and do this podcast. Get cute and do this podcast. Do a setup. Babe, I'm talking about, I had the whole setup for you guys. I had the whole little It's Giving studio. Okay? And as I did that, it seems like little distractions started to creep in that had nothing. Like normally on a normal day, they had like, I've been asking for them to fix my damn AC, and this is probably, if y'all hear the fan, I apologize. But I've been asking for them to fix my AC since I moved in, right? So out of all the days in the world where I lay in this bed and I take my naps, or I be sitting in that living room, no one ever knocks on the door. But the day that Latanya decides to exert her energy into something that she genuinely like finds passion, creativity, and then it just exudes confidence, she gets distracted, right? And this is where I'm saying it is very important to pay attention to the chaos that you like, the patterns of the past, the cycles of the past. But think about how you reacted. And I need every time that include like from this day going further, I need you to change the reaction. Whether it's you got to be like just overly optimistic about the shit. If you got to be delulu to the point where you're so just delulu, like, oh, this is working out. I know it doesn't look like it, but this is literally falling into place for me. I don't know how. I don't know what the legions of angels are doing for your girl right now, but I know they working the overtime because they got me working double time, so they working triple time on what we over here trying to bring into this earth, right? I do my makeup in the ways, or in the middle of me doing makeup. Knock, knock, knock. Maintenance. Okay, oh shoot. Okay, hold on. I would love to do a podcast episode and some AC. Okay? So I stopped. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and tend to that first. This is where I said you have to have a balance as well. Like I had learned that in the past, because I was allowing so much to take away from me, I would always feel like imbalanced, and it would be a bigger imbalance in my life whenever I feel like now everything is relying on each other. Like if this falls, this falls. So never get yourself into a space where it seems so sacrificial to where everything is dependent on this other thing for your existence, for your peace, for your joy. You get what I'm saying? For your ease, your mental ease. I try to help him. He talking about he don't speak English. Latanya's always gonna, if you don't have it, yeah, quit for it. So I do. I quit. Hey, this is what's going on. Yada yada yada. Oh, I don't fix that. Mind y'all, they were supposed to fix my tub when I first moved in because the first day I took a shower, all the paint said in the motherfucking shower with me because they hit me with the landlord special, but that's cool, honey. Okay, because I take grapes, I make them wine. Okay, my Lord and Savior. Stop. But no, really, my Lord and Savior, he could take water and turn it into wine. But right here, I'm one of those, whatever you give me, I'm about to make it luxury, boo. I don't like, what? That's what Latanya did come here to know. It's a luxury experience, even in the hood. So, boom, landlord special comes up. And this is why I was saying, like, out of all the moments, why this one? They don't fix my tub. So it took Latanya maybe in February. Like February was a good moment, like season for productivity because I literally was okay with isolation. I was okay with what I was considering to be mundane, which is really I'm living a more healing experience than I had lived in the past, and this is just new to me. I don't know what, like I haven't got to explore that yet. But that's another conversation, right? That's another combo. But boom. So he's over here like, well, what's wrong with the tub? I can't fix the AC. What's wrong with the tub? I'm like, dang. Well, just letting y'all know, I fixed the tub. I actually got tired of waiting on y'all, and you can take pictures. So I pulled, exposed my work, like Vanna White. Okay, what? I'm ready. I'm prepared. You can't fix this, but this is done. So now y'all can all focus on that AC. How about that? How about that? So he tells me that, hey, I have to call the lady. I don't fix this. Yada, yada, yada. Can I sit here? So boom. I let dude chill. I go, you know what? Why is this stopping you from getting ready to do your podcast? Because he ain't got shit to do with what you going to do after this AC's on. And you should still be in preparation for what you're looking to do next. So I go in the bathroom, start tending to a look, baby. When I tell you the look was looking, matched the background, it was giving energy. It just exuded like what we are trying to give on IQT. It's giving collective energy, right? So as I'm doing what I need to do, this lady, tall as hell. I'm just being very honest. I just want to set the scenery for me. I'm in the bathroom and looking at me, okay, literally no words attached to my music. Makeup. This lady walks up behind me and I let out a nervous laugh because my default for a lot of stuff is to laugh, which again, that not stealing your joy, that is the thing I've conditioned myself because there was a time where I used to want to pull my fucking hair out and do self-harm. And so I had to redirect my habits and I had to give myself something new to do that was healthy to do. And that's where laughing came about. If it's especially when it's something that's completely out of my control, I'll laugh. I will laugh that off. Now later on I might cry. And I might stew for a little bit. But I digress. I mostly laugh and then I get to business. So I let out a like nervous laugh and she goes, "What's so funny?" Not even a hello. Hello, motherfucker. Hey, yeah, how you doing? None of that. You didn't even introduce yourself. At least Weezy had the, you know what I'm saying? He had the respect to, you know, the manners. Not the mer. So anyway, lady just pops up. Like, what's so funny? I said, you just popped up behind me and I was not expecting that. What's going on? She was like, touching on stuff. And so as she's like not communicating with me, I'm communicating with her, like trying to lighten the mood. I'm smiling and stuff. And it's bothering this lady's spirit. And I'm like, I know the spirit, our spirit. Now I'm not going to say the best spirit, but our spirit came in my house. I can like, it's going to tell me, it's going to command the room. It's going to command the energy in this house. And if anybody's ever been to Latanya's crib, It's a very peaceful space. I always like to make it feel like it's home, not only home to me, but home to anybody that walks through this door. Okay? I want you to feel like you've been at your own crib when you at my house. And so for you to come in here with your feet dirty in the spirit, I need you to go ahead and step out. Or I'm gonna anoint them damn shoes. Yeah. I'm in my anointing phase of life. Okay? So play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Come on, baby. Don't play with it. Just play with it. Spend all day in it. Let me stop. But no, that ass. It was one of those things like, don't come in here with that energy, sis. I'm not that type of girl. And I'm also not going to meet you where you're at. Do you know how hard it was to build up this level of energy, love, acceptance, joy, ease of mental? Do you know how much of a daily practice that is? And do you really think after I just put this motherfucking look on, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing? Or you're going to command me to feel another type of way? No. Because every time I look in the mirror, I keep seeing a baddie. I'm sorry. And not even a baddie, I see a queen. I see a divine one. I see a queen catered and curated in Christ. Let's be honest. Okay? And so I didn't let her shift my energy. I said, sis, this is what the issue. Y'all let me know what y'all can do. I get my makeup done. And by the time I go out to the living space just to see what's going on, right, they took my beautiful space, including my outside furniture, including my little like balcony area stuff, just every fucking where, awry. All my things are awry. I got dirt on my damn carpet from my plant that they put inside a house and just threw that shit so it fell over. You did not care. Or you want to get your, all right, this is why the spirit be testing you, because it really wants to see if you operating correctly. Let's be very clear. I know that. Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, so y'all really want to play in my face? Like, I don't see what it is. You know, the thing is, you know I know, and I know that you know. I'm just waiting for you to come to acceptance. Don't play. Because I look things where it is in the eye. I seen what it was, babe. So try again. Try again. I defeated the ultimate boss. That is my baby daddy. You will never steer me. So boom. They leave my shit a mess for a second and they walk out. They shut the door. They don't give me no inclination of what they're doing. I kind of perceive that, hey, they're going to go check that, the outside unit, which is what I told them. I said, hey, a few months ago when I made this an issue, your God told me that it was a pipe, that y'all got to order the part. There's something going outside. I said, all right, babe. You don't want guidance. You don't want clarity. You can't give people the clarity they don't want. So I'm gonna back it up because I have clarity on what's going on. And that's all I need for me to continue to move forward, which is this AC getting fixed regardless. All you got to do is show up for what you need to show up for. And as I seen the mess, I hear my mom's, like literally her voice so loud and so cutesy, how she used to do it. All right, LaTanya, don't let no one steal your joy. And I said, I need to call her. Ain't nothing better than calling your mama, okay? Because I'm going to call my mama and call my daddy type of girl. I will not call a friend. I call friends for certain scenarios. But first I go to mama and daddy first. Hold on. And then I also get both of their, like, depending on what it is. If it's logic, I'm only going to daddy. But if it's emotional and spiritual, I know who to go to. Because she got that direct line of Christ. I always say that. We've all, like, that's a family thing. She got that direct line. So I know to go to her to get that divine intervention for her to intercess on my scenario. I call her. I said, Mom, I got a question. Is it okay for, and as soon as I'm speaking and telling her what the issue is, maintenance comes in, energy shifts. It went from all that chaos and stuff that y'all just was trying to bring in to, oh, okay, it should be working, like being nice, wanting to communicate. Now they swept up the damn mess. Now they're ready to be nice. And then the dude asked me, he's like, agua? I said, shit. I love y'all so much that I don't have agua, but I do, because I'm not giving y'all this Florida tap. I'm going to give y'all my Olippops. I did not only bless their hydration, I bless their digestive health. Let me stop playing with you. But no, I gave them that Olipop. I said, hey, both of y'all, take my last ones. Y'all, I appreciate y'all for what y'all did. This is all I needed. I had no beef or strife with you. Actually, I was trying to be nice. I wanted to be a neighborly. I've been wanting to be a community girl for so long, and it's not giving community. So, boom, that was my first indication. And as soon as everybody leaves, the mess is clean. I was like, you know what? You have the space now. Fear hits me. Now I got to give myself a cute little pep talk. I'm over here pep talking myself. You guys, I had to give myself my own podcast episode. I'm gonna be very much real with myself and like real with y'all. And I want y'all to know, if you are a content creator in general, if you have an issue with struggling with journaling or writing down or hell, even creating content, it is okay to create content just for your view. You literally, the same way you literally get up there and you target your whole entire content to fit your market and your fans and your, like, your base, your community base, is the same way that you can stop for 2 seconds and make that same content for you. So that whenever you're in a dark place, the same way that you are able to put that light into other people, when you are doing your content, you're able to restore that same light within yourself. Queen Tita, on the low, on accident, but no, really, like, me making that quick little episode, and I kind of staged it like it was an episode for myself, made me, and it kind of put me in the space of, oh wow, you've been putting too much analytical force into this, to where you haven't even been communicating with yourself. Like, you have been blocking yourself creatively, passionately, like, in all the spaces. So, like, no, create the content for yourself. And it doesn't have to go up online for it to be for yourself. It doesn't have to go live. Not everything got to be for everyone's consumption, boo. And I think we're learning that. I think in this season that everybody's kind of being like, okay, we have had an overload of information. I want y'all to shut the fuck up and stop telling us about y'all, because it's really changing how we feel. I think we're in that season right now. So I feel like me saying this was so necessary. Make the content for yourself that's not made to go online. It's just made for your viewing. Make you a nice little arsenal, or, what is that thing called? A folder where you could just kind of review that content, title it, audio diary. If you literally just click on that audio app, record some. It ain't got to be for nobody. It don't got to be in no damn format. Just talk. Just talk. Because sometimes you're able to nurture that part of you in another time, because that's going to come back up. You didn't fully work through that. That's necessary work that got to be poured into that, so that you're not repeating that. So instead of trying to force yourself to heal, because that's another thing, is like, the word healing makes people feel like you got to come to an arrival, when it's literally a lifetime experience. Same. So boom, I gave myself that pep talk, and I was about to get ready to do it. Next thing you know, knock, knock, knock. Ultimate boss at the door. And so then I said, okay, we're just not going to do the content today. It's not going to happen, because also I could see now that, like, I still needed to work through the message that I'm, like, trying to give you guys right now, and hopefully you are getting something from what I'm saying. But no, like, I had to work through that part so that I could get to this episode. And it took me going into the next day, when I just felt drained. I tried to not, and I tried to literally fake it. I tried to delude my brain into, them people ain't stealing your joy. They're not taking pieces of you. And that wasn't authentic to Latanya. Let's be very clear, because the next day, okay, it was not giving what it was supposed to give. It was not giving what it was supposed to give at all. And baby, it showed. It showed. I woke up, couldn't get out of bed, but by the grace of God, I had that PTO. Put that thing in. But then I was embarrassed, because normally I communicate very clear and thoroughly with everybody. I'm transparent, because I don't want you to say Tanya ain't said this, because Tanya did. You just didn't care what I said, or you literally disregarded what I said because it doesn't match up to what you're wanting me to do. So yeah, let's just not do that. Let's not. So boom. I felt embarrassed, but I was like, you know what? That's a conversation I could have with my boss later on, like when I go back in the office. So I took the day off. And remember when I told you guys that I'm trying to find new habits that fit who I am in this season, and not necessarily the self-sabotage. And I didn't realize how many things I was doing with self-sabotaging until you're in the space where you're at now and you try to do that shit and you know it don't make sense. You just be like, I really used to say this shit was, this was law. This was law back in the day. But something loved you enough to break that law off your heart and allow you to accept something new, boo. So, like I said, I had to realize that a lot of my habits were self-sabotaging. So yesterday or Wednesday, I decided, let me just do something that's not my norm. I love a good garden day, but let me not do that. I don't dedicate my time to going to go pick out books, and books are like a thing. Since I've been a young girl, that's all I literally had. Back then, y'all blessed lady queens, queenies, and queenettes. Y'all have social media. Y'all got so much access to so many things, which that could be a blessing and a curse at the same time. But back then, if I wanted to go into a new reality, it wasn't Facebook or Instagram that took me to that new reality. It was a Judy Blue. Okay, it was a crank. It was a glass. It was a what is it? Burn. It was a child called It. And those are kind of like, thinking about it now, those are places also that you don't want to take yourself into. But it was like sometimes I kind of felt normal. And that's sad to say, but I felt normal reading those stories because it was like, oh, these characters are going through some type of abuse that feels familiar to me, that I understood. And that's not okay. Which again, the books have shifted over the years, but I just realized I hadn't invested in that, and that was something as a child I loved. I loved a good book. So I took myself to Barnes and Nobles. I said, fuck everything, I'm gonna get Barnes and Nobles, and I'm hangry. And when I'm hangry, I can't do anything. So I'm gonna get me some food that I haven't ate anywhere. So boom. Take myself on the date. And I'm just dragging myself through it. And this time, instead of me wearing my mood, I decided I'm gonna dress for how I should show up, even if I don't feel like being that girl right now. So I was that girl. Was that girl when I went to Barnes and Nobles, because also maybe might run into my future husband, and I just gotta be prepared. I just gotta be prepared. So I go to Barnes and Nobles. I'm looking around. I'm browsing, and I just like literally just engulf myself in that experience, and I just say fuck everything that's out of my control. I got that to where I could worry about that tomorrow. I could to-do list tomorrow. Fuck that. Let me just enjoy this. But something that I love in Barnes and Nobles that like every time I go in there, it just I go straight there. It's the psychology section and the personal growth section and thrillers. I love a good thriller. Sorry. Book selections or book updates coming soon because I got some stuff. Ooh, I might can show y'all a few things that I got. I think they're in grabbing range right now. So boom, I give me a few books, and everything that I got a few off readers where, like, for instance, I can show you these two. So I got Greeneth, which is a nice like little fantasy book. I'm not going to tell y'all. If y'all know what I'm talking about, we'll talk about this on a later date, or on another little situation. And then I had got books like this one is Overcoming Overwhelm Journal, a 12-week wellness planner for finding peace in a busy world. I have a mindfulness book, which is basically daily. You chart your in the morning and in the afternoon, or not, sorry, in the afternoon, in the morning and in the evening. But then it also has some fire ass little tools that's within it, and like reading excerpts that you can get into that kind of help you guide. Baby, when I tell you Barnes and Nobles, they did something. They did their big one. They even had the kids' books on sale. So I said, you know what? I'm about to change my kids' habits as I'm changing mine to help promote, ease for them whenever they're going through shit. Because if you see mommy handle it this way, 9 times out of 10, that's how you gonna handle it. And you don't need to see me trying to run ones with people, okay? Because but we don't need to run ones with anything unless we're running ones to that motherfucking bank, okay? Hello, ones. Ones. Okay, let me stop. I'm just saying that's the only way we should be running anything is to that damn bank. So, anyways, boom. I realized that I need to get them something to change the way they handle shit. So right now I'm doing a transition where when it's going into bedtime, when there's that transition into bedtime, tablets is up. I realize with co-parenting, parents will do what they do, but over here, we're going to have my balance. Meaning like where they might go over there and go to sleep with a bedtime story being played on YouTube. Over here, you're going to get a real life reenactment of the damn story from mom. And also, it was a way for me to give my kids more time, which also brings more joy into my life, right? Because seeing they smile clearly is going to literally just ripple effect onto this face. Okay? So, got them some children books and let them know the plan. Like, hey, when mommy get home, we're reading books to go to bed. Mommy's going to sit down. Whoever got in bed the right way, quicker, I'm going to sit on your bed. So, like, you get the first look at the book type stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to create a little competition, a little healthy competition for the kids. But just realizing like that, we needed that shift. We needed some habit shifts that can kind of promote that mental health that we need. Because I realized like I just felt drained. I would feel drained by the world, and then I would get on social media and feel even more drained. Like you ain't doing enough. And just like that, you're not doing enough. Whole time, if you just stay in your own motherfucking lane, be the harness of your own joy, right? You ain't got nothing to worry about. You ain't got nothing to worry about. So, basically, after I had that day off, I woke up and my mom's voice, so this is Thursday, don't let anyone steal your joy, came up again. And I said, you know what? You're right. I think the reason why I'm hearing this is because even as I'm telling myself no one's stealing my joy, there's little leaks that I'm still allowing to happen. And I had to realize that back in the day, I used to kind of take those, like, you know how you be like, I take it on the chin. I take this on the chin. No, there's certain things you don't have to take on the chin, sis. I'm just being honest. There's a lot of things that you don't got to take on the chin. You literally could just remove yourself from that experience and say that this is not for you. And you refuse to live within that. Okay? So boom, stealing of the joy. I wake up, I'm feeling anxious about going to work and telling them what's going on. I'm fighting my kids. I'm fighting the ultimate boss. And I'm just like, you know what? Why are you letting everybody and how the fuck they feel consume you right now? Isn't that stealing your joy? Is that not the reason why you keep hearing your mama's voice ring in your head? It's because you ain't listening. Because normally when your mama tell you one time, what? That's enough. But the fact that mama had to keep popping up in my head is saying I ain't listening. And in that moment, I chose myself. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I had to just choose myself. So where when I came home to my silent, calm energy of a space that I have created and restored time and time again, and I stared into that void, and I realized how many things that was stealing my joy because I felt like I didn't have control over something. That was stealing my joy. Sometimes it is not a person. Sometimes it's you in different parts and areas of your life self-sabotaging. I literally would spend this time right now like basically going over and like stewing about how I'm not where I wanted to be, not realizing. And it took one of my, we gonna talk into, I want to eventually get this girl on the podcast. I ain't gonna tell y'all yet. I like surprises. But I had listened to this lady's message yesterday, this beautiful heaven sent woman, okay? She had posted a message literally 7 hours ago yesterday evening. And after the evening I had, by the end of that evening, I felt like everything was literally out for it. Because at the beginning of the week, I had something steal my energy to where I wasn't able to do the podcast. I've been wanting to do the damn podcast. Let me be very clear. I've been wanting to. But clearly it wasn't the season for that, right? And then when I had Queen Bob's, no one gave a fuck whenever it was just a Etsy store at first, because I barely sold on Etsy. When it was an Etsy store, then went to Shopify, then was a physical location. It was only when I actually started operating in it that people wanted to eat it up. And once it was gone, then people left. And then there was the tiny then to restore her joy. And so I'm realizing you don't have to go into seasons of restoration ever so often. If you literally just conserve the joy, conserve the peace, conserve the energy, babe. You arguing with somebody who got like precondition, what is it? They already have their own thought out process and persona of who you are. You trying to convince them That's stealing your joy. You forcing yourself to be small in spaces that you literally are too big for. To be honest, baby, and that's good. Stop acting like that's bad. Like sometimes I go in the room, I'm like, damn, I'm too big for this one too. Damn, I'm too big for this one too. But no. What? Because those are the same rooms that you used to shrink in. Okay? You used to be Tiny Tim. Now you David and Goliath on this shit. Okay? Like what? Come on. And so even that, when you have to try to suppress yourself to fit in spaces that don't make sense for you, that is stealing your joy because now you can't even operate in the true authenticity of who you are. The genuine, like, this is who I am in this moment. Not, this is who I, like, the crazy part is I feel like games have taught us how to create personas. Like, I'm going to go through my generation. We started with, like, the PS1, PlayStation, right? So PlayStation, you had to build your game profile. Then I was a Sims girly. All you do is spend time creating a persona that you want to project. And the crazy thing is, even with social media, which was developed by gamers, let's get into that. Boom, even with that, social media being created and cultivated by gamers, you guys have to realize, even in that, you are creating a persona. It's not you. Because that shifts. That, and it should. You should not be. If somebody's like, oh, you've been the same motherfucker since I met. No, I have. I need to go into some reflection. Because what? I used to hate it, but I love it when a motherfucker look at me like, what? Damn, do I know this nigga? No, you don't. You had a preconditioned idea of who you thought I was. You also had an experience that you got to experience a part of me in that season. But this is where I'm at now. This is who I am now. This is what I value. And I realized that, yeah, like we just got to be in a season of only focusing on what's important to us. Money is going to come as long as you got love and joy and peace and restoration in your damn heart. Like all the things that you're looking for is going to come, but also you're missing out on it because the things that you prayed for in the past, the things that we all wrote down on the manifestation letters to ourselves, the vision boards that y'all love to put up and beat everybody to the punch to getting it. Mom's still working on my vision. Y'all will not make me come up with a vision for the entire new year, right? That didn't start until, okay? Y'all are not going to force me to hurry up and create a sound-based vision for myself for a calendar year that y'all operate on. Because that spiritual timing do not line up. Let's be very, like, I'm going to be real with you. That spiritual timing will never line up to that damn calendar nor that clock time. It will not. Because every time I use no. And when I think and I be trying to play mind reader with God and tell myself, oh, this is a season I'm going into. He was like, oh, I have a way of showing you that you had no recollection. I didn't give you not one message. That was all self-induced thought. Ma'am, I haven't even ordered your steps. Let's be clear. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining me for the first episode of season 4. The P is for perseverance. And we are, what? Rolling with Latanya vibes. What? Rolling with Latanya vibes. What's coming next? I will not always present for my dad. But I like this kind of vibe. I feel like it's personal. It feels like we're having like girl talk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, girl. And you know what? I am not a good friend. I am not a good friend because how the fuck did I spend 44 minutes and not address you? Hey, queens. Hey, kings. How are y'all doing? How has March been treating you? Are you feeling like you got tumble dry too? Damn, sis, I was just hoping for the best. I was hoping that maybe I was getting tumble dry, but you was dry. Okay? I was hoping that you was in a different season, baby. I was ready to see your accomplishments come to fruition. But guess what, sis? It's still coming. Don't worry about that. This is just a moment. What else happened? You had to cut some motherfuckers off? It hurt, didn't it? Damn. But you kind of feel good in that peace and ease a little bit. Like you could smile a little bit on the inside and the outside. It's the external and internal smile going for you. All right. You finally walked away from that damn job, right? Right? Baby, more money's coming. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, sis, and my brother and my sister. I'm sorry for talking before actually even checking in on you, and that will never happen again. But really, I need you guys to drop in the comments how you have had your joy stolen from you and what you had to do or what you felt like you had to persevere through to restore that joy within you. Okay, I kind of had to show y'all that because the restoration is in me showing up and doing this video. That is my confirmation to you guys that, like, that's how you don't allow anybody to steal your joy, because not only did I go through all that, but despite everything and the things I haven't even discussed with you guys, I still showed up to do this. So that means you can continue to show up and do what you got to do to, keep that joy afloat. I love you, and we'll be back.